All right. Good evening. It is 11:47 p.m. at night. Now you're probably wondering, Jay, you normally get on at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Another mammoth torso. I'm looking for the mammoth skull, but thank you. Why are you hopping on so late at night tonight? Well, have I got a story for you. So, once again, it's really rather fitting that it's snowing in-game today. Because it snowed again today, and it snowed a lot today. Like a fucking lot. Like way more than it did either of the other two or 3 days this week. I think it was 3 other days this week that it was snowing. And that, you know, by itself was a fun time. So the whole incident that I'm about to discuss, already nice, started happening. That's fine. So this all started happening around about like 4 o'clock, a little after 4 p.m. when I decided it snowed quite a bit today. I'm going to go out and dig up all the snow and ice that has formed, because there was also a huge layer of ice as well under my wife's parking spot, because she is about to get back home from work. So I started working on that. I made some good progress, and then about 30, maybe 45 minutes after I started doing that, my wife, you're back. Hello. Yeah, you want some more fish? I don't have any fish on me. I'll go find some fish for you. My wife got home, and she was like, okay, so you haven't fully finished, first of all, she thanked me for digging up the snow in her parking spot. I should be clear about that. She was very thankful, which was very nice. Even though I always dig up the snow in her spot, she's still always very thankful, which I'm very appreciative of. And so she was like, okay, well, you haven't fully finished up fishing up. God, what am I saying? I'm so tired. You haven't fully finished up digging all the snow off the entire spot, and she was like, well, I think I can make it anyways, because she's got a car that does pretty well in snow. It's a Subaru, and it's got X mode is what it's called, which is supposed to be the mode that does really, really good in snow. So she was like, I think I can get in there just fine and probably get out in the morning without that much trouble, even with not the whole thing fished up. This is my favorite fish. Okay, so every fish is his favorite fish, I think, is what we're learning here. Which makes things easy. So, what do we get this time? Okay. What is this? A Meadow Vista. That's what we already have, but thank you, I appreciate it anyways. So, she tries to pull into the spot and almost immediately gets stuck. Completely stuck. Can't move forwards or backwards. So we spend about another hour or so trying to get it unstuck. So that was fun. Okay, maybe not a full hour. We spend maybe another 30 minutes or so trying to get it unstuck. We eventually do get it unstuck. We're able to pull it back, like, into the road a little bit. And then we're like, okay, we're just going to spend more time, just digging up the rest of the snow and ice in this parking spot. And then we're just gonna pull the car in, and it should be totally fine to get out tomorrow morning. So that's what we do for about another 30 minutes. And then eventually we're both like, okay, we've made a lot of progress. The hardest part is just chipping through all the like inch of ice. But we've made a lot of progress, and we are both really hungry and tired and just generally exhausted. And so we're like, okay, you know what? The snow has stopped at this point. The roads around town are probably fine because, you know, people have been driving on them all day, and so most of the snow's probably melted at this point, but it's not so cold that it started to freeze yet. So we were like, okay, let's go out and see if we can get some food from somewhere. So we leave, we go get some burritos, and we come back, and not going into any of the specifics behind exactly what happened, a few houses down the street from our house, we get the car completely stuck. Like, can't move it forwards or backwards like we did before. Well, no, I mean, we can't move it backwards, kind of can move it forwards, but every time we move it forwards, it's on like a hill, it's on a slope, and so it starts sliding sideways every time we move even a little bit forwards into our neighbor's yard. And so we were like, that's not happening. I really don't know. The snow around the car was like at least 1.5 to 2 feet high. So we're like, we're not digging this out. And even if we do, I don't think we're going to be getting enough traction to, you know, be able to move forwards without just sliding all the way into our neighbor's yard. So we were like, ugh, fuck. I think we just have to call a tow truck. So we call a tow truck. And we get in contact with someone, and we go through this whole process where they have us explain how exactly the car is stuck, and like what the car is and where we are and stuff. And then they're like, okay, so we're going to send someone out to help you. ETA probably like 30 minutes to an hour. And we're like, sounds good. So we sit there and wait for about 30 minutes, and then we get another call from the tow truck company, and they say, okay, so new ETA probably about an hour and a half. And we're like, fine, all right, that's fine. At this point, I want to say it's 7 o'clock. I can't quite remember exactly. Maybe, no, 8 o'clock, I think is what time it was. I don't know. I can't fully... The timeline of events doesn't always work in my head. But basically, they tell us it's going to be about an hour and a half. So we're like, all right, this is fine. At this point, the people who live in the house that we have gotten ourselves stuck in front of have come out to ask us if we're okay and if we need help. And we were like, no, there's a tow truck coming. We should be fine. And like our car was stuck like right in front of their driveway. So we were like, oh, God, what if they like need their driveway or something? But their driveway was on an even steeper slope than what we were on. And so I was like, I feel like they're probably not using their driveway. And when they came up to talk to us, they were like, yeah, we don't use our driveway in the winter because we just can't get out of it when it snows this bad. And so we were like, oh, thank God. So like, we can just stay here. We're good. And so the neighbors know, that the car is going to be moved eventually. It's not just going to sit in front of their house forever. And, even if it does have to sit there for a while, it's not exactly in their way. So we were like, okay, we're just going to head back to our house because it's just down the road, like a few houses down, and we're just gonna chill there for a little while until the tow truck gets here. We head back to the house. We get in dry clothes because obviously we've been out in the snow and the cold for a long time, and dealing with stuff for a while. Cabin bed, that's one I already have. Dealing with stuff for a while, and we're just really cold and want to be warm and dry. And the moment we do, we get a call from the tow truck company saying, hey, the guy to tow your car is there right now. Did he call you? Because he's waiting for you. And we were like, oh shit. So we get our wet clothes back on and rush out the door and head over to where our car is, and he's nowhere to be seen. And so we give him a call, and they're like, he's on his way. He'll be there soon. And we're like, okay, so I guess we'll just stay in the car for a little while longer. And hopefully he'll get here eventually. And so we stay in the car for like another 10-20 minutes or so, I want to say. And still no sign of him. So we call him again, and they're like, he's right around the corner. He'll be there any minute now, but give us a call if he's not there in another 30 minutes. And we're like, fucking okay. So we wait another 30 minutes, and then still no sign of him. In fact, we were like, okay, well, it's been 30 minutes, but maybe he's like really close, and we don't need to call him just yet. So we wait an additional 10 minutes just to really make sure before calling them again. Still no sign of him. So we call him again, and they're like, okay, give us just a sec. We're going to try and get in contact with him and see what's going on. So we stay on hold for about 10 minutes or so. And then they pick us back up and they say, yeah, so there was a problem with his car. It broke down for a little while, but he's got it fixed now. So he's on his way to you. He'll be there very soon. We're like, okay, finally, we're getting some information on what's going on. And hopefully this will all be over very soon. So another 10-20 minutes pass and still no sign of him. And so we call them again. Or no, we don't call them. Another 10 minutes pass, we get a call from them, and the person on the other end says, hey, has he come to help you yet? Is the job finished? And we were like, no, we've been waiting here for a while now, actually. And they were like, oh, okay. I'll try to call him again and see if I can figure out what's going on. And I'll call you guys back in another 5 minutes, okay? And we were like, sure, sounds good. We just really want to be done with this, because it was like 9. It was like, no, it was 8:30 at this point. And obviously my wife has work tomorrow she has to be up early for, so like And she came like right home from work, started shoveling, and then we got into this situation before she was able to really do anything. And then they like kept making us think that the driver was like 5 minutes away, so we just kept sitting in the car instead of being back at our house and like being comfortable and stuff. And so yeah, they say we'll call you back in 5 minutes. 10 minutes pass and we get another phone call. This time it's from a different person, and they ask us the same question. They ask, has the guy come by and helped you yet? Has the job been finished? And we say, no, it has not. Someone already called and asked about this. And they were like, okay, give us 5 minutes. We're gonna try and get in contact with him. And we were like, fucking okay, fine. So we wait another 5 minutes, and then we get a call from them again, and they say, hey, yeah, so his car was still broken, but it is fixed now, and he is on his way to help you guys. And we were like, okay, well, I just fucking hope he gets here eventually at all. And so we wait. At this point, I think we wait another 10 minutes, and then we give him another call, and we're like, hey, he's still not here. Can we, like, figure out what's going on here? Because we've been, like, since the initial call, we've been waiting for 3 hours at this point, and you guys said it was gonna be like an hour. So what's going on, and why do you keep saying he's almost here when he very clearly is not? And so they're like, we're gonna put you on hold for a second and figure out what's happening. They leave us on hold for about 10 minutes, and then they pick up the call, and they say, no, wait, they leave us on hold for like 5 minutes, and then the call gets disconnected. So we call again, get a different person, explain the situation, and then they put us on hold, and for like another 10 minutes, and then pick us back up again, and they were like, hey, I'm just gonna put you on hold, put you on with the dispatcher, and he's going to explain the situation with you. And we're like, okay, let's try that and see what he tells us. So the dispatcher gets on the phone, and he says, hey, so the situation that the driver's in is actually pretty bad. He doesn't have his truck fixed, which is funny because they told us multiple times that he did get his truck fixed, and it's looking like it's not going to be fixed for a while. So what we can do instead is we can send a driver out from a sister company to come help you. And at this point, it's getting closer to 10 o'clock, if I remember correctly. So it's been a long back and forth of, you know, them saying, hey, it's going, you know, he'll be there in 10 minutes. We wait 10 minutes. We call him, say, hey, he's not here. They put us on hold for 10 minutes, and then they say he's gonna, you know, he's gonna be there soon or whatever. It's been like another hour of that basically, and it's 10 o'clock, and we're just so tired, and we want to be done with this situation, and we've been sitting in this car the entire time because they've been telling us he's close. And so finally they're like, we have a sister company that we can send a driver out from, but the ETA on that would be about 2 hours. And we're like, we can't be waiting for you guys until midnight. And throughout this entire process, it was actually really nice. We had like 4 different neighbors come up to us and say, hey, are you guys okay? Do you need help getting out? And we were like, well, we've got a tow truck coming, so I think we should be fine. We've got the situation hopefully figured out, just they have to get here first. And they were like, okay, well, just let us know. And at one point, even the person in the house that we were stuck in front of came out to say, like, because they didn't know we lived just down the street. They were like, hey, if you guys need it, you can come, like if you need water or something, or if you need a bathroom break, you can use our bathroom. Just let us know if you need anything. And that was so wonderful. That was so nice. But we didn't need it because our house was like literally a 2-minute walk away. On top of all our neighbors coming out and checking on us, there were also these 2 kind of young-looking boys. I want to say, like, maybe, like, between 17 and 20 years old. I couldn't quite tell how young they were, but they were fairly young, who had a truck with a winch on it, and they were literally just driving circles around the neighborhood and seeing if anyone needed help getting unstuck from someplace, and like offering their help. They came up and checked in on us a couple times. They were like, "Hey, we can help you guys out," but by the time they came up to us the first time, we'd already called the tow truck company and paid the fee to the tow truck company. So we if we canceled at that point, it'd be a 50%. Only a 50% refund, and we were like, we'll just go with the tow truck company, don't worry about it. But they were like, okay, well, if for some reason something happens and they aren't able to come get you, here's my phone number, so you can just text me and we'll come right over and pull you out. Oh my god, just how generous and kind, like the just absolute the sheer levels of kindness we experienced today was just purely enough to turn around the entire situation for me. I would have been just really bummed and not very happy, but people were just so nice to us, so that was amazing. Anyways, back to the tow truck company. We were like, hey, we really can't wait out here for 2 hours, so we're just gonna call these local people that said they could pull our car out. I think they're maybe like actually 5 to 10 minutes away, unlike what you guys have been saying. And they were like, and we were like, can we just please like see if we can get a full refund, because frankly this is a little bit ridiculous. And they were like, yeah, you know what, we'll look into getting that refund for you, which was really nice. It was really nice of them. They fully acknowledged that, like, they messed up the situation and there was a logistical problem on their end. And so they were like, yeah, we're just going to get you the full refund. We're not going to do the 50% cancellation fee, which was just really awesome. And then we texted the 2 guys with the truck, and they were like, yep, no problem, we're on our way right now. And they came by and they were able to pull us out, and we did get a full refund. It did we basically paid a company a very large amount of money to tow our car, so that we could sit there for a while and then have them pay us back. But the 2 guys, at first they were like, I mean, don't even worry about paying us. Like, you guys have been through enough tonight. But we were just like, we're not just gonna not pay you. I mean, you guys are like the coolest people we've ever met, and you absolutely saved us tonight, so we're definitely paying you something. So they got us pulled out. We decided to not park in front of our house and instead park in a more flat area, because our house is kind of on a hill, and was not just not vibing with us anymore at that point. So we eventually got it figured out, but not without a massive hassle. So that was what happened to me tonight. So that was a lot of fun. On the brighter side of things, I got some good progress with the game done tonight. Like I was talking about yesterday, the next thing I had to get done was just making sure I had full control over the order of events that happened with the spline alignment, and just figuring out how I needed to do everything manually myself. And I got that all figured out today. I didn't even need to copy and paste code. I just needed to make it so that the components on all the individual points weren't doing things automatically themselves, and then just instead calling the functions that the components used for like the various alignment things they did myself, instead of letting the components call them themselves. So no copying and pasting code, just figuring out the right methods I needed to call, and then calling them at the right time and stuff. And that fixed a lot of the weird jank we were initially having with like the rotational stuff and everything we were doing before. It all rotates perfectly now, except for some reason sometimes the first point just flips upside down for like a split second, and I don't know why. I think I just need to lock rotation on the X and Y axes to 0, because Unity does a weird thing with 2D where it's not actually 2D, it's 3D, but everything's just on a single plane. So you still have access to the other rotational axes and stuff, and everything is still technically positioned on a 3D point, even though you really only use the X and Y axes for positioning. You just use the Z axis for like basically layering like objects on top of each other, so that one object will look visually on top of another. But that also creates weird stuff, because instead of like a full-on 2D system, it's like you're just leveraging the 3D that Unity is still doing to create that layering, and that creates issues because the camera exists on a Z-axis as well, so you can't go further up on the Z-axis with an object past the camera, because then it'll stop rendering at all. So you have to do weird stuff managing, you know, making sure you're doing everything between the camera and like doing everything in front of the camera, and you know, moving the camera back if you need to. So it's just another thing that I prefer about Godot, I guess is what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I did make some good progress, and messed around with another like inconsistent thing that we needed to get fixed before we could move on with other stuff, and got that fully figured out as well. Maybe I'll talk about that more tomorrow. We'll see. But for now, I'm so exhausted, so I'm just gonna go to bed. So I will see you guys tomorrow.